Have you ever wondered how Netflix or YouTube always seem to know exactly what you want to watch, or how your phone seems to finish your sentences before you do? That's no magic, it's machine learning. It's all around us and it's quietly shaping our habits and experiences, and knowing how this technology works can help us use it in smarter ways. According to a 2025 article in Information Systems Frontier, machine learning is rapidly revolutionizing both business and the tools we use every day. I'm a junior studying artificial intelligence at Purdue, and I've used these machine learning models to forecast spare part sales for an airline company. So I've experienced firsthand the power that these models possess. Machine learning is a big part of our lives, and knowing how it works can help us understand the technology we use daily. Today, we're going to talk about what machine learning is. We're going to break down the three most common types of machine learning models, and finally, we're going to talk about the everyday impacts that this technology has. Let's start with what machine learning is. According to a 2018 article in Communications of the ACM, Machine Learning the State of the Art, machine learning is defined as the technology that allows computers to learn from patterns within the data without being explicitly programmed to do so. So instead of programming every step of the way, we give the computer a bunch of examples until it can figure out a pattern within the data. It's kind of like how we learn from examples. It's like giving the computer enough examples of what cats and dogs are until it can differentiate between the two. There are three main types of machine learning models: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Let's start with supervised learning. According to a 2024 study in Procedural Computer Science, supervised learning uses labeled data, that is, data that already has the answers within it, to help machines learn and make predictions. It's kind of like learning with a teacher or learning with flashcards. Imagine your math teacher gives you a bunch of problems with the answers already written. You go through them and start to see something. Like, for example, what happens when you multiply negative numbers or how to solve for x. So the next time you get a similar problem without the answers given, you already know how to solve them. That's supervised learning. Next, we have unsupervised learning. Here, the computer gets a bunch of stuff without any answers. So the computer has to figure things out on its own. It's like walking into a room with a bunch of kids that you don't know. But we start seeing something. Some kids are wearing jerseys, some kids are talking about anime, and some kids are probably hooked onto their phone. That's clustering, or finding patterns without knowing what's what. And finally, we have reinforcement learning. This is all about learning by trial and error. The computer here tries something, gets feedback, and finally learns over time what works best in a situation. It's kind of like training your dog, as you can see. Imagine you have a dog and you tell it to sit, and if the dog sits, you give it a treat. If it doesn't, you don't do anything. Over time, the dog learns what actions are rewarded. That's reinforcement learning. Now that we have seen all of this, let's see where it all connects to you, where machine learning shows up in our daily lives. Platforms like YouTube, Netflix, and TikTok use labeled data. That is, data where they track like what you watch or what you like and how long you've been on a video to predict things like what video you might like in the future. According to a 2022 study in the Journal of Service and Management, supervised learning is what powers these recommendation engines and is what keeps the users engaged in their platforms. Spotify, on the other hand, uses unsupervised learning. So Spotify goes through your playlists and listening history to essentially group similar people together to recommend music that you might have not heard but you probably like. I'm sure you might have seen Spotify do things like people who like Imagine Dragons also listen to One Republic. That's an example of unsupervised learning. There are no labels, it's just patterns. Snapchat, on the other hand, can use machine learning to identify faces and apply facial filters that move with your expressions. For example, dog ears, rainbow vomit, or even makeup effects. According to a 2019 study called Retina Phased, published on Arts IV, deep learning models can identify facial features like your eyes, your nose, your mouth, and your head to essentially apply these filters, even if these parts are partially covered, like your face is partially covered, or you're making different expressions. This is the exact same tech that Snapchat uses to apply those fun filters on your face. Now that we've seen machine learning in action, let's wrap things up. So, what is machine learning? At its core, it's basically how computers learn from experiences, just like we do. Today, we saw what machine learning is, we went over the different types of machine learning models, And finally, we saw the everyday impacts that it has on our daily lives. Machine learning, again, is not some far off tech. It's right there, quietly shaping our experiences every day. So the next time you see your phone recommending the perfect song, or you get a video that just hits the spot, it's no coincidence, it's machine learning. Thank you.